Welcome to the Blaize interview. My name is Blaize, and today we have
Destiny.
Thank you, Destiny. So, how are you doing today?
Good. I'm hungover.
Yes. So you had a great show last night at the Ice House.
Yeah.
There was a stack lineup. There was Sam Howder was there. Greg Warrior was there. Obviously, you were there.
Yeah. Tom Arnold, Dara Hammond, and Jamie Kennedy.
Oh, nice. So
Yeah.
how'd you get onto that show?
Honestly, I got recommended by another comedian.
Nice.
Summer J. She's super cool. I met her doing like open mics and stuff, and she recommended me to Jimmy, and Jimmy hit me up, and
Nice.
yeah, he asked me if I wanted to do it. I was like, yeah, of course.
I do feel like, especially since it's reopened, the Ice House has been the spot everyone wants to go to.
Yeah, it's super nice. Like I was in the VIP room and everything, and they give you like there's like complimentary like soda, water, chips, and shit like that. It was cool, and then you could see everyone. And you're behind this like mirror, and no one can see you, but you can see them. So it was like fun.
Okay, it was one of those like double-sided mirrors.
Yeah.
Okay, and it actually had AC.
Yes, and your own bathroom, and it was super chill. I was like, oh, this is cool, and like Daryl Hammond just sitting in the corner, and then Tom Arnold came in. It was cool,
Okay.
and they were super cool people.
What is it like performing in the house? Because they have 2 rooms, right?
Yeah, I don't know how many rooms. I know there's the California room, and then you have the legendary room, which I think is the main room. I think.
I've only heard people going to the California room. I haven't heard anything about the legendary room.
It's big, and not huge, but it's bigger than the California room. Yeah, and it's super. Yeah, I've actually been there for a show to watch someone else, but like before I was like doing comedy.
Oh, okay.
And I got caught taking pictures.
Oh no!
They're good about that shit. Like I'm like I don't know, is that someone's job? They're just sitting right there like looking, because like they're on it. I don't know how they get it so quick.
Well, it's not that hard to see the light. You know what I mean?
True, and it is dark in there.
It's a dark room, and you see a light come up. You're like, phone.
True. Because I mean, I tried to do this. I was like holding it closed, and I had my screen like
all the way down.
The light all the way down. I had the flash off, and I still got caught.
You know what you got to do is you got to have you seen like those screen protectors?
Yeah.
So where you have
the
to
privacy protector, so you can like talk shit about someone next to them and they wouldn't even know.
Or just cheat on them without them knowing.
That too.
That's what my family uses it for.
Oh my god. I mean, it's funny because a lot of people try to like they'll like name their text messages like Pizza Hut or like
yeah.
Or like I saw a really good one. It's the settings, the settings like thing on iPhone, and you just put iOS blah blah blah, because you always get like notifications like, oh, update your blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But it's funny when it's like, I miss you, and it's like, why does your settings miss you? Like, what the fuck?
No, I you know what? For me, it's just I just don't save the number.
That works too.
I don't save the number, and they say, who's that? I was like, I don't know. I don't save the number.
I mean, for me, I just stay single.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because people are always like, oh, like they worry about cheating and stuff. I'm like, look, I've been single for like 7 years. And like if I want to get a relationship, which I do at some point, I'll be obviously faithful. But like if I want to fuck around with a bunch of people, why the fuck
would I
be with somebody? I was like, hey, I'm just on my phone right now. Let's have fun.
Like right now, you just have a main.
I don't have any.
No, okay.
It's so funny. Everybody fucking thinks I'm like, oh, you must get bitches. And
I'm it's because the swagger. You got that swagger. You got the I get bitches swagger.
I wish it would work, because all I ever get is fucking like men hitting on me. And so I have a joke about it because it's true, and it's like they'll hit on me, and I'm like, did I not just say I'm gay? And like I literally try my best to dress gay, and they still hit on me, and that's why I say I'm like, am I the gay one or are you? Because. Like, what do you like, I don't know. But I think everyone thinks they can turn someone, so.
Yeah, I mean, I've been with one lesbian in my life. She was a lesbian. Now she's back with other women. But it was like a one night thing for her. She was like, let's do it. It was an old friend of mine. She was like, she was just talking. We got a little drunk. She's like, oh, let's do it. I want to try it. And I was like.
Were you her first?
No.
Oh.
No.
She was just drunk then.
Yeah, she was just drunk. She was like, all right, let's fuck. And I was like, but we're friends. She was like, it's all right. I was like, but you're lesbian. It's like, it's fun. I was like, all right.
Oh my god.
And so it was just like, I was like, sure? And she was like, yeah, let's do it. I was like, fuck it.
You're like, you sure? Okay, can we write this down? Like,
because I'm all about consent. I always like,
sure.
Like for me, like even when I'm on dates, I always ask, can I kiss you?
Yeah.
Because I'm never one of those to lean in. I was like, oh no. I was like, I'd rather them say, oh no, I don't feel like it or something like that, than be like,
Yeah, I mean, I've asked before on dates, but sometimes I just wait, because like you could tell when a girl's giving you that look.
Yeah.
I wait for them to like give me that deep stare, and they keep looking and looking, and I'm like, then I know, because I usually I am assertive, I will initiate it, but like if I don't know and I can't read them, which has happened to me before, I'll be like, can I kiss you? Like I hate that too. So I'm like, can I kiss you? Like retarded, like fucking.
No, ain't nothing retarded about asking for consent.
I know, true, but I think I feel like kind of nerdy about it. Like, oh, can I? Like a kid, but I think it's good though. Mm-hmm. Like, especially, I think mainly like for men, for sure. Like, so props to you.
Yes.
For not assuming every woman wants you, because I know lots of men think they can.
Yeah.
And they'll try, and you're like, are you okay?
Well, I have a joke bit that I've been trying to work. I know it's been around for a while, but I'm trying to like phone it my own way because, gay. The reason why they're homophobic is they're afraid they're gonna like being gay.
Yeah, which is like, what's wrong with that?
Yeah, there ain't nothing wrong with that.
I mean, everything feels the same in the dark.
Right?
It's like if you like anal with a girl, just turn the lights off. You'll like it with a guy.
Yeah.
Or if a guy, I've heard from gay men because the last time I dated a guy was a bisexual man, and I liked it because he was comfortable with his sexuality, and he would tell me all these stories. He's like men give the best head. And I almost felt like kind of like, oh fuck, like I don't want to do this to you, but like it was fine. It's never been my favorite, to be honest. Like that's why I stick to my own team.
Yeah.
But no, apparently men are better at it. I mean, just like women.
Yeah, eating pussy.
Yeah, I've never met a man who was like better than a woman. I'll tell you that.
That's fair. Men just try harder.
True, or they watch too much porn and they're just like, ugh, and like it's like porn's fake.
I had one girl. She gave me a book to read. Was that the? No, she did. She gave me a book to read. It was the Art of Eating. It was. I forget what the name is. I can't remember the name.
It's the Art of Eating Pussy. Or
basically, but it was like the conoliness and all this stuff. And it was like from this guy. He was like he was an impotent man. He had a small penis and he couldn't really get. Like he was always he couldn't get a woman off penetrating.
Oh, I think I heard about that.
Mm-hmm. So he took more pride in giving head than he did in fucking.
Hey, props to him.
Right.
At least he cares about his partner. Most men don't.
No, they don't. And it is like because there's one girl I've been seeing. I do like her. She's fun, but sometimes she's too demanding.
She's how?
The way she asks me how to eat the pussy, it's like, just let me try to do it my way, and then it's just like, no, you gotta do it this way. I'm like, all right. You gotta take the constructive criticism.
No, I mean, I wouldn't even take it as criticism. Everybody's body is different.
True.
Because I'll give direction. Like, a little bit to the left, or a little bit this, or like, can you slow down, or like, because I've learned in my experience, like, yeah, everyone's body works differently, so maybe one thing worked for one girl, but another won't.
Yes.
So I wouldn't take it as a bad thing, more like she's trying to teach you what works for her body.
Yes, and for me, it's like, I'm just trying to, like...
You're like, this is too much work.
I'm trying to do this and that. It's like, she's like, use this hand do this hand do that. And I'm like...
I mean, all you gotta do, I'll give you like, some tips. Just multitask, okay?
Yeah, that's what she's making me do. That's the hard part.
But don't go in fast. You want to take your time because girls, we're not men. We're not like, we're not a DJ booth. So don't do this. But go in, play around with your mouth, and then stick your fingers in and do it at the same time. Yeah. And we do the come here motion.
Yeah, that's the one.
And not aggressively. Work into it. And then you can work into it.
Flip your fingers.
And and wash your hands beforehand. Otherwise, girls will get a yeast infection or some type of infection.
Mm-hmm. Well, because my profession, I always wash my hands. First thing, like all day, I wash my hands literally like 20, 30 times a day. Yeah. Like as soon as I put something in the trash can, wash my hands. I sweep, I wash my hands.
Yeah. Every little germaphobes.
No, I'm just Mexican.
Germs are good.
I'm just Mexican. Cleaning it all day. I'm just like, I look around and just like, I can clean that right now. I get that from my mother. No, it is fun, but that is my problem. I find when I do that is I'm too rough because I get too excited. Because men, we're like dogs. They're like, well, we just like when we get excited, go.
Yeah, you're like, I want to finish, and that's what made me disappointed.
Yes, you gotta take it slower. That's the thing I've learned, but it is hard, especially when you're a little drunk and you're like, you get a little aggressive. That's what I do it the worst. I will say I give head the worst because I'm a little bit more aggressive. Versus when I'm just high, I'm just like, I'm more relaxed with it. Yeah. I will say, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like thinking about, how do I say it?
Yeah, I think that's why, like, I don't know, every time I've been with men, it's like, they're done, and I was like, oh, that was disappointing. That's why I have that joke too, where it's like, oh, sometimes I think about going back to men, but then we're really coming. And so it's like, yeah, it's more fun. I don't know, but women are just pretty, It's like,
I do. I know.
Exactly, you agree? Like,
yeah, I do. I love women. Like, I'll go around, like, I'll just see a woman in a dress and it's like, I love your dress. Just the way you were looking at it, it looks beautiful. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we put a lot of work into that shit. Even though I might be gay and shit, I still put work into my face, my clothes. I'm not a dyke. I'm not one of those that's like, I mean, even if, dykes, it's fine. They don't want to wear makeup, but for me, I like it. So I'm more androgynous.
I always, I tell my nieces, remember, makeup makes up for what you lack. Self-confidence.
Yeah, well, yeah.
It exuberates what you like about yourself.
We're just like, we're accentuating our features.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, men were the first ones to wear makeup.
Yes, and heels.
And heels, and wigs.
And wigs, and all that stuff.
All of it.
Yeah.
You know?
And then it became taboo for whatever reason.
It's weird, too, because I always thought it was weird when like, these... I'm not trying to get called conservative, but conservatives being like, oh, I wish when men were men. I'm like, what era?
Yeah.
When were men... Because, like, in the 80s, men wore those little crop tops, you know... Like, other time, like, the 50s or something, okay.
Yeah.
But, okay, when no one had rights, you know, but if you go back in history, men wore flamboyant outfits.
Mm-hmm. I mean, like Mozart.
Yeah. And I'm like, what's the problem? I don't understand, like, what's the problem in somebody wanting to dress to however they feel?
Mm-hmm. Technically, men were the first ones to wear dresses, too.
Yeah. I mean, even, it's funny, because, like, even priests, what are they wearing? They're wearing a gown.
Yeah, they're in a robe. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, so it's like, it's weird to me that, like, I just feel like it's them feeling challenged with, like, oh, you're challenging their masculinity. I'm like, do you even have that, though? Because clearly you're sensitive that, like, you can't even, like, see another person address it. Like, oh, he's gonna convert me or whatever. Like, no one can convert you. We don't just wake up and, oh, I feel like being gay today. Yeah, you got one pussy. Like, no.
Yeah.
Like,
that's what it is. Like, I don't really care, trans, gay, you know, whatever letter you choose, that's you, boo-boo.
Yeah, you're like, whatever alphabet letter.
Whatever letter you want, whatever number you want, I don't care. It is what it is. I mean, there's actually one thing I found stupid is recently this man sued Beyonce in Texas, and part of the lawsuit is he's mad at her. He's claiming that she's the reason why he's gay.
What?
Yeah.
Can you even sue for that?
I don't know.
She didn't force a dick in your mouth.
I know, or ass.
Or ass. I mean, there's bottoms and tops in that, so some men don't even take it. They just give it.
Yeah.
They're like the giver, not the receiver.
Mm-hmm.
But that's stupid. He's just trying to get money, I think.
Yeah, well, he's suing her for multiple reasons. It's like a 42-page lawsuit, and one of them's like insurance fraud, stolen identity, like a whole bunch of random shit, and for the reason why he's gay. Like, I really kind of like hope like this kind of goes to like court so we can see the motherfucker's face.
That's like so. It's like people try to sue for the stupidest shit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I saw this one lawsuit, and it's annoying because this person actually won. This lady burned her mouth on a McDonald's pickle. You know those?
Oh, the pickle? I thought you were gonna say that she burned the cup.
No. I'm pretty sure it was a pickle. She burned her mouth. I think it might be a pickle. It could have been something else. It was McDonald's, and she sued them, saying that because she couldn't sexually pleasure her husband because of her mouth, that it caused her like emotional distress and ruined her marriage, and she won because there was a warning. That wasn't because like she couldn't satisfy him. It was because there
was no warning on the packaging.
I guess no warning that the pickle might be hot.
What?
It's stupid.
The pickle? The pickle.
I don't know if it was a pickle. It was something, some type of food.
Oh no! Wasn't the McNuggets?
I don't know what it was. I just know they won, and I'm like, I wish I was stupid enough to file for that.
I don't even know how people are so stupid and smart to do stupid shit like that. Like,
I think it's like them being smart. I think it's because, like, okay, you have people that are like really dumb and incompetent, right? But they think they're smart. So they're the ones who go and do these things. Like, why would you do that? That's stupid. Because they're so stupid. They can't read a room.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why it's like, even like, example, Trump. He thinks he's a genius. The guy ran for president, and he didn't think, but he didn't think like, oh, all these crimes I've been doing wouldn't come up to surface, and then he still did them in the office. You have to be stupid, but you're so stupid that you do it, and look how far he got.
Yeah.
Me and my friend, I think we call it like retard syndrome, or like what to do with like like people who are different or autistic, but it's just like, and not even has anything to do with that, but just like we call it retard confidence. Like because it's like they're just like dumb and they
don't know better.
Yeah, did you ever wonder how dumb people become famous or rich? You're like, what? Because they took chances on things that nobody with a fucking brain would. Yeah. But it worked.
Yeah, because they lack that the little voice in their head saying, hey, that's stupid.
Yeah, like maybe we shouldn't do this.
Well, one of my fears right now is I'm waiting the first female president is going to be Kimmy K.
Kimmy K.
Kim Kardashian.
Oh, that's awful.
That's going to watch. She's going to run for governor. She's going to win governor of California. And then after that, she's going to run for president. I'm calling my shot now.
She wouldn't.
I'm calling my shot. I mean, you know why? Because she's going for help to get her law degree.
Yeah.
And she's gonna do all this stuff and like gonna get in the public eye and like.
She's in the public eye.
No, but in the public eye in the sense of like as a politician. You know what I mean? Because she's always been. I feel like what happened was, Kim and Kanye got together, and it wasn't Kanye's idea to run for president. It was Kim's idea. And,
really? Because I feel like he's so incompetent with stuff that like. Because he's full of himself. I don't think he's like not a good artist, of course. But if he's so full of himself that he just thinks he can do anything, but he's racist and shit. It's weird. It's like.
Yeah. Yeah.
You ever seen that Dave Chappelle show, that one episode where...
The first one?
I don't know, was this the first one? He's like in the KKK, but he's always black?
Yeah. Clayton Bigsby.
Yeah, that's like Kanye.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like crazy, and he's saying that with the hard ER, and then he takes his thing, and it's like...
And the white supremacist head explodes.
And then he hates himself because he's black.
And then he divorces his wife because...
Oh, because she's dating a black guy?
She's married a black man. And I was like, damn.
That was funny though. That was really funny.
But the thing is, like, he said like that stuff. Like, did you hear his Mark Twain acceptance award?
No,
so,
I don't really watch him.
No, okay, I get that. But like, I watched that. It was all before 2019. Everything was shit. But I was watching the acceptance speech, and what he said is like, there's different types of people in this world, different types of comedy. Like you hear someone say, an offensive joke or something that you think is offensive or racist. You know that guy doesn't mean it, but he just doesn't know how to say it the right way. And then you hear someone, and he'll say some joke like that. The entire room's laughing as fuck, but you know that motherfucker's racist.
Exactly. It's true though, because if you're telling a joke about something, like you obviously either believe it or have experience in it. Mm-hmm. Like all my trauma jokes and stuff. Like, yeah, duh. Do I not look like that? I don't look like my parents loved me. You know what I mean? So I think there's truth behind it.
There's always truth in comedy. I mean, like you said, most of your comedy comes from like your past experience. But what is the best way for you to like write jokes, write materials?
Honestly, when I'm doing the dishes, bored as fuck because I have ADHD. Mm-hmm. But no, I mean, I always wanted to do comedy for years, but like I was always too scared to think I could do it because I was in radio before.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, I used to have my own show on Playboy Radio Sirius XM. Like 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. It was called Your Date with Destiny. I used to interview porn stars, grab titties all day. Like I have a bunch of pictures I can show you them after.
I'm definitely.
Oh yeah, I have a bunch of photos of holding tits because I always tell them before the show, I'm like, hey, I would ask for consent first.
Yes.
And then I also would have a game where I said, we'll test your porn skills. And so on the show, I'd be like, okay, so you remember that Janet Jackson magazine picture from back in the 90s where like the guys behind it grabbing your tits?
Oh yeah.
And they're like, yeah, we're gonna do that like after the show. And so I have a ton of pictures of just grabbing fake titties, and I'm like, ha! And he cares. They knew it was gay, but also like I asked for consent, and also I'm a girl, so they didn't give a fuck. And it was Playboy.
Yeah.
They work in porn, and so like.
They're used to all this, like being hypersexualized, being touched. You know what I mean?
But again, like I didn't assume I could do it. I would always ask.
Yeah.
And if they didn't want to, and none of them actually ever said no, but. And then we would do like games. Like I have a picture of me with a dildo. I'm holding it like this, and the porn chick's on her knees with her tits out sucking it, and I'm just like. I was just like all proud of myself, like oh shit, look at me, and the Playboy sign at Playboy. I was like this accomplishment.
That's great. Honestly, that is the dream. Like you were literally living my dream. Like be on radio, fucking touching porn stars' titties all day.
Yeah,
like I mean. There's a lot worse things in life.
Yeah.
What happened with that? Like, how did that end?
So, I mean, it was like 10 years ago. So, Playboy lost their contract with Sirius XM. And then a lot of producers and stuff left. And then I ended up with a new producer. And him and I didn't get along. Like, we bumped heads a lot of the time. And he started sabotaging my shows. So, he would, like, tell me, I have this, like, guest coming in or whatever. And I do my whole show around it. Because, like, when you do, a show, you have, like, we call it, like, a radio clock.
Yes.
It's, like, at this time, you break, this time you have this segment, whatever. And I do the whole show around it, and I show 5 minutes before I'm live, they're not showing up. And I was like, you fucking motherfucker. So then I just go, and I still do my shit, but then I would just throw a question out, and then the lines would blow up. And so I would just, like, talk to people on the phone, and I worked with it. But, yeah, so then there was another girl competing for, like, my spot. And so basically... Yeah, I ended up getting laid off from it.
There's like, that's good.
Yeah, but I also was going through a bad time too. Like my ex-girlfriend went to rehab. My car broke down. Me and my old roommate got into it, and we weren't gonna live together. So everything went to shit all at once. And then I stopped doing radio, got like all insecure. I was like, oh, I'm not good enough, and then I met a guy, which is like
the start of every bad decision. I met a guy.
Yeah, I moved to Chino.
No.
Lived with him for 2.5 years.
Woo.
He was a fireman or whatever. And it wasn't like he was a bad guy. It was just like he wanted to get married and have kids. And I don't want kids.
Yeah.
I talk about that in my stand-up. Like, I don't want them. Like, it's not for me. And then I started to realize, I was like I couldn't picture myself never sleeping with a girl again. You know? And I was like, yeah, this isn't for me. And the sex wasn't even great. I was like, yeah, no. And so I broke up with him and moved to Pasadena. Like, that was like maybe 7-8 years ago. And yeah, and then I just kind of got into marketing. And then from marketing, yeah, I just did really well on that. And I got bored in it after a while. Because, well, not really bored. It was more like I like to be creative, but like I don't have creative control there.
Yeah.
So I kind of have to go with whatever brands want and their voice. And so I was like, I need something to kind of fulfill that creative side. And so I was like, well, let's do the comedy. And I was scared as fuck. And I only started like in December.
The last year?
Yeah.
2020?
2022.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I went to my first open mic and
What was that?
Tal Comedy.
I love that place, yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, she's great.
Yeah, I love her. I'm even reading her book still right now. Was it the Tal of, what is it, the Tal Comedy or the
Art of the
something like
Patience or Pause. The Art of the Pause?
The Art of the Pause, yeah.
The Art of the Pause. I've only read the cover in the back. That's all I need to know.
Yeah, I mean it's really good though. It's giving you a lot of like insight and pointers. And yeah, I went there, and so when I did my first one, like, I actually did well.
Nice.
And then when I did my second one there, it didn't do so well. And I was like, oh fuck! Like, it was the first time I felt like, oh, like I didn't bomb,
Yeah.
but I could have done better. And it was the first time feeling the audience like, oh, like when they don't laugh, it was like, oh, this is uncomfortable. And then I was, well, I guess, keep doing it, and because talking to other comedians, it's part of it, and just learn from it. But also you have to learn to read the audience, and I wasn't doing that at the time. And so I was going up there reading my, my script, kind of like memorized, doing it word for word. And then I finally went to Witty Titty, which is a female open mic in Burbank, and I winged it. I call it, I raw dogged the stage. I went up there and said, I have no set, I'm raw dogging it. And I talked about panicking all day and having ADHD and how I kept forgetting this and doing that, and how it's like, time traveling because you have no fucking perception of time.
Time traveling.
Yeah, because I think 15 minutes went by, it's been 3 hours, and I'm like, fuck. Yeah, and then that's when I learned to connect with the crowd. And yeah, then now like just going to different mics and stuff, I ended up now on stage with Tom Arnold and fucking Daryl Hammond.
From December, like not even a year.
Not even a year, yeah.
You're like, the fuck is this?
I know, it's a trip, but I mean, I always tell everyone to like network. Because that's how I got into radio. I did a podcast, and this is before podcasting is the way it is now.
Yeah.
10 years ago, everyone was posting their podcasts on Facebook. Internet radio was barely getting there, And we would talk about like, oh, like internet radio is going to take over like regular radio. And we were like, no, it's not. Like, yeah, it is. It did.
It has, right here.
And now everybody has one. And yeah, I got into doing that, and then that's how I got picked up. Like, someone heard me, and they're like, oh, it was my producer, who's my friend still. He actually went to my show last night.
Nice.
And he mentored me and showed me how to do all that stuff in radio, like control the conversation and all that. And then, yeah.
This was 10 years ago, so this is about 2013?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's 2013.
Yeah, and then I used to hang out at Playboy Studios all the time in Burbank, and I'm friends with his boss too, or his old boss, and I was in his office, and he's like, what do you want to do? And I was like, I'm going to be the female Howard Stern at the time. And he's like, make a demo. And I'm like, okay, and I did, and that's how I got it approved.
Oh,
and that's how I ended up with my own show.
Okay.
And so, yeah, I just go out there, put the work in, but also network and be friendly and open. There's people who do it and they don't talk to everybody, like talk. And go out and support other people.
Yeah. We go to mics all the time, especially like the slot mics, people come in, go.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they just leave. Or like even like the bucket mics, people go to the bucket mics. After their name's pulled, they'll go.
Yeah, and like you shouldn't do that, because I think and I'm not saying like be fake and like pretend to like people. No, generally go out there and make friends. I've made actually a lot of cool friends from doing it, And you don't realize how much you can learn from other people too.
Yeah, just talking and say, hey, I like your set. This is what I liked about it.
Exactly.
And some people say, oh, can I tell you what I didn't like about your set? And, you know, sometimes you hear they'll say something, you're like, oh, okay, thanks. Sometimes you hear something, you're like, okay, thanks.
Yeah. I only listen to people who do comedy. When people who don't do comedy try to give me like their 2 cents, I'm like, okay. But only because like when they start explaining it, I'm like in my brain, I'm like, that's not the right way to say it. That's too long. That doesn't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's kind of an art. You gotta bring it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, and I'm still learning. Like I'm no pro, obviously, but it's just there's a certain way.
Yeah.
And you know, people like they'll tell you how to say a joke, and it's not even funny. I'm like, that doesn't make sense. And then I'm just like, oh yeah, no,
okay.
oh, thanks.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, I'm not a dick. I'm not like, you don't know comedy. No, I'm never. Like I'm not egotistical. Period. Like I may look like I am, but I'm not. I'm very like humble and more like, oh yeah, what? Tell me more. You know.
I get that. I just forgot. You know when you had that thought, I was like, I got this question. I was like, shit.
That's ADHD.
Yes, I was like, I actually got Asperger's. So, which but it's a little different. I'm on high end level Asperger's.
Like high functioning.
High functioning.
Yeah, I'm high functioning. Well, yeah.
High functioning.
I'm high functioning ADHD.
For me, like it's interesting because I'll tell people I have Asperger's and like what is Asperger's, and I describe this in like social awkward, like I don't understand like social cues at times, and that's why a lot of times, especially with women, I'll ask them questions.
That makes sense now.
Because especially as a young kid. I'm a very touchy-feely person. Yeah. So, especially my profession being a massage therapist, I have a very small personal bubble. Like, it's easy for me to get, like, really close to people without like, not feeling them. I know that they're, like, not caring that they're there. Like, some people, like, they have their bubble and you can see.
Oh, yeah, like your,
I have a small personal bubble. Like,
yeah, cool with their own personal space.
That,
yeah. It's weird. I'm the opposite because I don't know, maybe it's my ADHD, but I'm more like, if I know you, I like to be close to you, or like if I'm close with you. Mm-hmm. But like if I'm not, I'm more like, like you're in my space. Or
like, especially new people, like, here's the one thing about comedy, like, I don't date comedians. Like, I don't try and flirt with comedians. I'll be nice and friendly, but with comedians, I'm just like, just keep it professional. Like, because I don't want to be one of those, you see those guys at the
yeah.
And they're like creepy as hey, bud, and just like whatever. Like.
Yeah, no, I've been hit on by a few of them, the men. I just kind of like laugh it off or whatever. I'm like, it's fine. I try to take it more as like a compliment because they're never gonna get anywhere. They can try all they want, but I know how to say no.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna hang out with you and like I know what that means.
Let's have a writing sesh.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, I'm good, or I'll bring someone with. And I haven't done that, but. I did date a comedian, but before I was doing comedy. I'm not going to name her or anything like that. But she is pretty popular. She's hot as fuck. But she's really funny and stuff. But we don't talk anymore. But I didn't I wanted to do comedy, but like I didn't want to step on her toes either. Yeah. But it wasn't like I had, I just didn't. It was kind of uncomfortable, Mm-hmm. And when it didn't work out, then I got into it, and it kind of sucks because like I did some jokes about like dating and therapy and all that, and she saw them and thought they were about her. And she unfollowed me, and I asked her a while later, like, why? And she's like, well, I thought your jokes were about me. And I was like, they weren't, like, first of all, like, we didn't date long enough for you to cause me trauma. Yeah. Because one of the jokes like, oh, this girl asked me why I liked her, and I'm like, oh, because you reminded me of my trauma. Well, because recording my therapy reminded me of my trauma. But I was like, no. And then there was what else? I was like, oh, there's 8 billion people in the world now, and all I want are the broken ones. But I wrote those jokes when I was in therapy and learning about myself. Yeah. And so it was like after the fact. And so it kind of sucked because like I think she thinks that has a perspective still. But I mean, it is what it is. I still think she's super cool and talented. And, I'm sure I'll maybe, who knows, I might run into her one day, might not.
So you haven't run into her at any shows or mics?
It's funny, like, it looked like we were booked on a show together, and then now she's not on it. So I don't know like what that's about, but it's like
it's a show that's coming up.
It's at the Ice House September 30th. Okay. But she's not on the flyer anymore. So ooh. I don't know like I'm not taking it personal, but no, I mean I don't even know what it was about. I don't even think it was about me. Yeah. I mean I don't know, but I mean it's more like I don't care.
Well, it's interesting because there's a lot of comics who actually have that because like me, for example. I dated this girl for 5 years, and when we met, one of the first dates she took me on was a comedy show. Mm-hmm. She wanted to see if I like comedy, and then after that show, she's like, "Oh, I do comedy too." And so we were dating for a while, and so we broken up, obviously. Yeah. And so I was one of those things, like, I did a comedy a few times when we were in college together, and you know, I did it like twice, but the reason I stopped was my parents didn't tell me they were coming to visit, and I went to Hawaii. And they flew in without telling me, and they not my mom's texting me, where you at? I'm like, I'm at the bar. And she's like, where are you? She calls me and is like, I'm at the bar. And she's like, we're at your house. I'm like, I told you I'm not home.
The fuck?
Yeah.
You were in Hawaii and they came here?
Yeah, they came. I was in Hawaii and they came to Hawaii to visit me. And like they didn't tell me, they surprised me. Oh. And so after that, I was at the bar, and I was at the bar because I was doing comedy. And I didn't tell them I was doing comedy.
Oh, shit.
And so I was like, the guy who runs his name is Patrick. My parents are coming. He's like, what? He's like, you want to take it off? I was like, it's too late now. They're coming. Because I was like, I had like 2 people up in front of me. You know what I mean?
Oh shit! Did they see you?
Yeah, they sat front row right there. It was my parents, my brother, my cousin, his girlfriend, my aunt, uncle. 7 of them right there. And so it was like my first 3 months of comedy.
Did they like it?
Some of it. I had to change one joke. Because it's about my father. And I said, but I'll say it here's I have a picture of him. If I don't have any tattoos, but if I did, let me picture my father like this. And I have it not on my butt, but around my butthole.
Oh my god.
Because all that man ever did was talk shit.
You see, what'd you change it to?
I changed it to my face. Because all I do is talk shit.
Good save.
Yeah.
I went over all my jokes with my mom because a lot of them were about like my childhood and trauma and all that, how my parents didn't pay attention to me. I mean, it's not all super true, but a little bit.
Truth.
Some of it, but I went over all of them with her first because she saw me last night, but she thought they were hilarious. And so I was like, cool, because like one lady in the audience, my sister said that when I pointed at my mom, I was like, oh, because my mom, she made me say my last name as Herrera. And this lady, like, realized, like, she went like this, like, that's your mother? Because I was talking about how my parents didn't pay attention to me. And, like, how I wasn't seen or heard and, like, blah, blah, blah. And so it was just funny to think that they were like, oh, my goodness, your mother is right there. And you just said that. I'm like, my mom's fine. She's cool.
She raised this.
Yeah. Like, what do you think, this personality came from?
Where do you think all this gusto?
Because I wasn't seeing or heard, so I was like talking to myself.
Yeah, I wasn't seeing or heard, so I had to get a fucking station on the mic so that I wish you'd pay attention to me for once.
Seriously.
That's really great. No, it's funny because like I said, like I did the comedy beforehand, and like since we broken up, complete cut off. Like we broke up a week right before COVID. We broke up.
Oh shit.
So it was like boom, which is good. We broke up right. Perfect time, you know what I mean? Yeah,
I think like if you date a comedian, I think it should be an agreement that you don't talk about each other on stage.
No, I don't agree with that.
I mean, I won't. Like, I've never done any, even though I said she thought I did, I never did any jokes about it, and I wouldn't. And even if I dated another comedian, I wouldn't.
I have a joke that's based, like, not about her, but it's like the premise started because of her, but I changed everything that, like, you can't tell it's her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just like, I don't know. I don't want to like even deal with that.
I even had a because I was at open mic and like one person asked me, she's like, oh, why don't you talk about your ex being a comedian and you guys broke up because she didn't think you were funny. That is the literal truth. She broke up with me because she hated my jokes.
What the fuck?
That's the most fucked up part about it.
That's fucked up. So you should have told her like, oh, so you're telling me you're a comedian but you can't take a joke?
Yeah. But that's one of the main other reasons. But like we kind of grew apart. But like she just didn't like my jokes. And like you were saying earlier about like she hated like when people come up to her afterwards and say, oh, this is about your joke, and she would always pitch me like, who the fuck are you to tell me about my joke?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Just take it with a grain of salt.
The thing is, like, especially when you date comic, and because I was friends with a lot of her comedy friends, like, because we just hung out, and so that's what made it a lot easier for me to get into places, get into rooms and stuff.
And then you get shunned.
But the thing is, luckily, people come up to me, who I didn't even know before I did comedy.
Yeah.
Said, oh, you used to date her? And I was like, yeah, I don't talk about her.
Yeah, nobody knows I dated that comedian either. Yeah. I've told nobody, at all.
Yeah,
I don't want to. I just like don't want no one to know, and I don't. It's someone's business, and it is what it is. Yeah. It wasn't me.
I've only talked to her. I've only seen her twice, both not by choice. So the first one was the second one was kind of choice. I was kind of pissed off, so I did it to be a little petty bitch. So the first one of my
your battery's running.
Oh shit.
Yeah. It like
just plug it in.
It just shuts off.
It would. Okay, we're good. Okay, we're still good.
Like we're like in slow.
No, it is like that. So that's why with this I gotta edit it, post. But what was I saying? So a mutual friend of ours invites us to a show, and I get there a little early because I like to be early. I'm just one of those guys. I'm always like one of the first ones there.
Not me. I'm like, I'll be there in a minute. I'm like literally on the dot because like I have no time perception, so I think I have time.
Yeah.
Like today I'm supposed to be here at 11. I got to 12:30.
Whatever. But no, I didn't know she was coming because my friend said, oh, can you come to my show? I really need it's a bringer show, and I was like, sure, man, I got you. I'll come for you. So I go there. I get there first. I'm like, hey, man, what's up? How you doing? Blah blah blah. We're chit chatting. We're sitting down, and she comes up and she goes, hi, and then she sees me and she goes, hey. And then she doesn't address me. She's like, oh, why didn't you tell me who was going to be here? And I was like, I'm right here.
Why is she being that? It's like weird. Like, what's the problem? Like,
yeah. And the worst part is I tried to stand up to say hi, but I couldn't. Like, the glare she gave me literally cut my fucking legs.
But she dumped you because of you. She didn't think you were funny. Why is she treating you like shit? Like, she acts like you cheated on her.
Well, she didn't know I did. Until I told her afterwards, because the time frame got a little messed up. So
that's why she hates you.
Partly, but she didn't know until after we broke up. Because I had to call her and tell her. So what happened was, so it was Thanksgiving, and I went to visit family, and then we went to a snow lodge to go snowboarding, and we were staying in this hotel. And we're at this bar, and this older lady, she's like, hey, what's your name? And I was like, oh, hi, blah, blah, blah. And so she starts chatting me up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, blah, blah, blah. And we had a few drinks, and so then she takes me back to her place. And she's telling me all this shit. Like, we went to a different bar before that. She was like, my brother died a year ago right over there. This is where the police shot him. And then she's like, when we get back, she's like, you might be my last lay. I just found out I had cancer, this and that. She used to be like a motto for the House Angels and shit.
You granted a Make-A-Wish thing.
Basically. So then after that, and then fast forward, breakup right before COVID, and then she moves out Friday, the week of COVID, like when that shit happened, when everything was locked down. She left and she went to go with her parents, and then I had the place to myself, and me being a guy, as soon as she said we're broken up, I was like, Tinder, all the apps. Got one chick. She left Friday. Saturday morning, picked the girl up. Raw dogged her, which I shouldn't have done.
Yeah.
3 months later, find out I had chlamydia. I don't know if it was from the fucking Make-A-Wish or it was this. So, and I don't want her to fucking find out that she has chlamydia and like.
I see. I mean.
And then I called her. I said, hey, can I call you? And so I called her, and it was like, hey, I just tested, I got chlamydia, this and that. I was like, oh, okay, blah, blah, blah. And then before I was like, all right, I'll talk to you some other time. She's like, oh, okay, bye. She's like, wait, did you cheat on me? At the end, she's like, ugh.
I mean, I guess it's a good thing. I mean, you're a nice guy that you did that and told her.
Mm-hmm.
But also, too, it's like she dumped you and she could have just thought she got it from someone else.
I didn't know.
Yeah, I mean, you were nice enough to tell her, and that's a good thing.
No, but I fucked up.
I mean, yeah, I would have told her if someone dumped me and they happened to have it. Like, well, good luck with that.
You know what it was? It was like 3 months after we broke up, and 3-4 months. It was kind of that phase where I could still get her. I could still get back with her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was kind of like, oh.
You were holding on to hope.
Yeah, and I didn't want to come back and be like, we should get, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was that.
Well, then if you say you could have gotten her back, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you slept with her, and then you'd be like, oh, you might have chlamydia because I did sleep with someone when we were broken up.
No. Because the longer you have it, the worst part is that isn't really the worst thing I did to the girl with that chlamydia. So
with that chlamydia?
Yes.
What do you mean? How many girls did you give it to?
Unintentionally. Okay, I didn't know I had chlamydia. I got started having like stomach problems, and I was puking, and I was like, I should probably go get checked out. And so I went and got checked out, and that's when I found out. Worst part is, so I gave it to probably like 3 or 4 girls.
Oh fuck. Damn, you whore.
And?
I'm not hating.
So alright, take it back. I gave it to about 3. The 4th one was from her, the original girl. So this one girl, we're fucking for like a month and a half, and finally decided to go raw. And then she had to leave to go to another state because her dad was having brain surgery, and that I got the text. So Monday I found out I had chlamydia. Her dad was supposed to have brain surgery on Friday, and I had to call her, and she couldn't donate blood because she might have chlamydia for her dad's brain. I was like, she's like, blah, 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 fuck you, this and that, you know, if anything bad happens to my
Did her dad, was he okay?
She blocked me. I haven't asked him, nothing. No.
First of all, I mean, she could also have told you to put a condom on. It's like, wasn't there two of you both saying, like, hey?
Yeah, I mean, but it was...
Why is it all your fault?
I was asking her. I was like,
oh, that's okay. Then, yeah.
I did ask her and beg her.
It doesn't feel the same.
It doesn't. No, here's the problem. It is the problem. Because it doesn't feel the same. Because the problem with me is I last too long.
Well, get a vasectomy. Oh, actually, no. You don't even worry about pregnancy. Yeah, I don't know. There's really no way to protect from STDs, so
it's just condom. It's that. But, like, if the sensation isn't as well, it's harder for me to stay hard. Like,
have you tried the female condoms?
I haven't tried the female condoms.
The female condoms, you know what they are, right? The ones the girls put inside them.
Yeah.
So it's more loose and it's not tight. So that might work if the girl's okay with putting a female condom in. And then, you know, you don't have to worry about it not feeling the same.
Well, it doesn't. No, like literally, it's... Well, like, I've told women this, and I say it with serious. Women have laughed at me, like, hysterically laugh when I said that. It's like, just so you know, I won't come tonight. And they'll like, what do you mean you're not going to come? It's like, I'll be hard on that, but I'm just not going to come tonight. It's just like one of those things, it's just a physical thing about me. It's like, there'll be times where just like, I know my body, and it's just like, I'm not going to come. I'm just going to be a hard dick all night. That's it. Just use me. And it's like, so girls will be like, oh, I'm trying. Is something wrong with me? I was like...
Yeah, girls always take that personal. It's weird because, like, even, like, when I used to date men, too, like, they'd be like, did you come? And I was like, no. Mm-hmm. Because I'm like, how would I come from penetration only? Mm-hmm. You know, and then, like, for me, though, it's like, if I'm hooking up with somebody, even a female, I don't, like, focus on that. My focus is, like, I need to come and you need to come. If they don't come and I don't come, it's fine, but we both enjoy each other. Yeah. You know, obviously I want to make them come, but if they can't, I'm not going to be like, oh, is it me? You know, no. Because for me, like, I have a hard time even doing that. You're getting there. So I'm like, I'm just like, let me just enjoy this. Because if I think about it too much, I'm going to overthink it. And then I'm not even going to be enjoying this. Yeah. So I always tell somebody, just enjoy what you're doing with somebody. I think the more you're comfortable and relaxed and enjoy it, the more you could possibly come. Mm-hmm. Opposed to everyone's so focused on coming, but I think it's porn that does it to everyone. Or at least, I don't know. I'm just assuming, because porn's always like, oh, come, everyone comes. Women are like, apparently fucking fountains at that point. Yeah. Which doesn't happen.
Yeah. I was out those people would like to say it does, because it is hard to, like, to come. Doesn't even matter, like, what?
No, it's funny to say. It is hard to come. It is.
No, because like some of these dudes like, oh yeah, I can be the last 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Like, I wish. Sometimes I wish I was a quick fuck.
Jeez, they should just jack off before they fuck, so then they can last longer and the girl will appreciate it. Because it sucks when they're like, when I was with men and it'd be like 3 seconds later. Then they're done. Not 3 seconds, but it'd be like super short. Or it's like, I would know not to, like, okay, don't do your Kegels while it's in, because if you do, they're gonna be like, oh.
Well, the thing is, I think men didn't realize is like it's patience. Like I think the main problem with men is we lack patience. We want the whole thing to just boom to happen.
Yeah, because you guys, it's like, and you're done.
Yeah, for some. For some, like. I literally, like, one day this girl was like, I'm gonna do this and that, you're gonna come like 3 times, and I was like, we can try.
3 times, I'd be like...
We can try. It's one of those things, like, I personally just struggle, and I talked to other guys about it, and some guys is like, maybe we should watch you porn. I am addicted to porn, I will say that.
I think I hear that from a lot of men.
It is easy to be addicted to porn, you know what I mean?
I mean, I watch it, but I don't say I watch it often.
You know, it's not that I'm addicted to, like, I'm addicted to more, like, amateur porn. You know what I mean? I don't care for, like, the porn star and all. Like, I think that's why I allow a lot of men starting to favor like OnlyFans. Yeah. Because it's more like, you know, personal and all that. Yeah. You want that connection. Because every guy dreams, I wish I could fuck her. I wish I could just talk to her. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, before, like, my favorite porn star growing up was Nicole Aniston. That was my favorite one. Oh,
you just say, because there was this porn star, but I'm sorry, she goes by, I was hooking up with her last year.
Nice.
What is her name? Oh, she goes by Nicole Ari, I think. That's not her real name, though. I won't tell her name.
But... You don't need to.
yeah, that's her stage name.
So she fucked Nicole Ari, apparently, this bitch.
I mean, actually more like she fucked me, because she likes giving head.
Oh, nice.
And so, but yeah, she was one of those people, like, she would just be down there for, like, ever. And then I would, like, she was good at it. Clearly, she did it for a fucking profession. But it would get to the point sometimes where I was like, okay, it's been like, I'm done. It's been I've already finished too many times already. Like, but she wouldn't want to stop. I was like, because she, like, really liked eating girls out. And I was like, I can't take it anymore. Like,
I had a problem with one of my relationship is, like, I really love eating pussy. And, like, this one girl, she just didn't like it that much. And I would do everything like I can. I'd do toys. I was like, talk to me, like, what is it, like, I would try. And, like, she's just like, it's just not for me. And I think some women are like that.
Yeah, no, she was like that, actually. She told me, like, when I went down on her, she was like, oh, like, just so you know, like, I don't really care for it. Doesn't do much for me. Because, like, she masturbates so much and her clit doesn't have feeling anymore. And so I was like, oh, okay, so I didn't have to do that. And then she was okay with fingers and stuff, but, like, yeah, all of that. I feel like we're just talking about sex and porn now. Like,
now we are, basically. we moved from comedy because the problem was you told me that you were on Playboy TV.
Yeah, and then now it's like one of my Playboy shows. Yeah. So I'm literally going back, and it's funny because it's fun to talk about it, but I was like, when I did it, I was like, I don't want to be known for just this person talks about sex. I have a brain.
Partly.
I have a brain that works.
There you go. No, but it's just because that's part of the beauty of my show is like, oh, let's talk about you. And then, like, oh, what is that like? That's why, because, like, people, like, the last one, Keith Gardner. I forget his last name. Grander? I'm horrible with last name. But Keith was on my last episode, and I didn't know he was a chef beforehand. Oh, he's still a chef now. And so I was like, oh, tell me about chefs. And we just spent the whole podcast just talking about cooking.
Oh, nice.
And so now I know how to cook a fish.
I like cooking though.
No, I'm horrible at cooking. I'm okay at it. The only way I learned from cooking is through Instagram.
Yeah, you should go, like, I go on Pinterest and I look up recipes and it's falling. I didn't know I actually knew how to cook well until, like, I got bored one day and I started looking at recipes and actually was a natural at it. But now I'm lazy about it. Like, I can cook nice meals, but then I'm just like,
why bother?
Yeah, like, I was doing it all last year and I was, like, trying to, like, actually date and, like, be in a serious relationship. And none of the bitches fucking appreciated it. And so now I'm like, alright, I'm not doing the most anymore because every time I have, it doesn't work out.
I ain't gonna lie, I cook the same meal for every girl and they all like, oh my god, you can cook.
What do you cook? Fish?
No. It's, because a lot of girls, they don't eat beef or meat, so I usually, like, cook, like, a chicken. So a lot of girls, the chicken's the easiest one. So I'll marinate some chicken, and then I'll just bake some like carrots and some broccoli or Brussels sprouts. You know, put some peppers in there, and then put some seasoning. You'll mix it all around, and then put some white rice. Boom, boom, boom. Three simple things, and then like, oh my god, this is like so amazing. And you know, some girls was like, because I have all my season rack over there, so it's like, if you want to spice it up a little, you know, because my rule is like, I'll spice it up just enough because I don't know how these girls like it. It's like, if you want a little bit more spice, go ahead. Like I intentionally put low salt and low pepper on it, because some people like the low salt, low pepper. Some people like, oh, I gotta put all. So I keep a light seasoning, so then that way it is not overpowering them. See?
Yeah, no, that's good. I do simple ones where it's like a lemon parmesan like pasta because it's like super easy to make and you can like add shrimp in there or whatever, and then I'll do like a side dish like a burrata or some shit, and it's like all those dishes, they look fancy but they're actually really easy to do, and I've done that a few times, but again, they never appreciated it.
I think it's because you're a woman. I think as a man who can cook, and they're like, oh my god, he can cook. Like, they're surprised.
I mean, I try to show them, like, I try to treat them when I take them out nice places. I'll get them, like, black roses. I don't get regular roses. I get black roses.
Because, like, your heart?
Yeah. Or, you know, and I try, you know, then I'll make them dinner. Because I'm trying to show, which now I stopped doing this. I'm like, hey, like, I'm serious. Or, you know, this is the kind of person I am in a relationship. Because I am that way. I'll cook and do all those things. But now I just like, you know what? I need to wait until they're actually my girlfriend for that. Because if I'm just dating you, you're not appreciating it. And so...
But the main reason I do it is because it's cheaper than going out.
True.
That's
yeah, not me. I stopped doing this. I was taking girls out, spending $200 a night. Yeah, I stopped doing that. I was like, oh my god, whenever I'm in debt.
Yeah. Why are you doing that to you? Now you know why we man's like, go half. Please, I need to pay rent.
Well, with girls, like, it's funny because you can do that. You can be like, oh, like, we call it like credit card roulette. So you can pull that and be like, oh, like, let's have the waiter pick the card. And, like, you give him your cards and he kind of picks whatever one. And then whoever pays, the next time you go out, that person pays. So it kind of, like, does that thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Like I have this whole like analogy I thought of recently about like when you're dating. Okay, so like you know how dogs and cats are different, right? Like dogs are like, oh my god, you come home like you're here, and they give you all this attention, and you're like, okay, now it's enough, leave me alone, because you know if you know a dog, no matter what, no matter how you treat them, they're gonna still be there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, cats on the other hand, they're like, no, I'm gonna let you touch me when I feel like it, and when they finally do, you're like, oh my god, you're so cute. My analogy is, be like a cat when it comes to dating, because if you act like a dog, they're gonna know that. And they know that no matter how they treat you, you're still gonna be there.
Yeah.
Because you're like, oh my god, here's everything, and the cats, it's the opposite.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to.
I've been in that situation where I feel like that's happened to me. Like what you're saying. Like there's this one girl I was really interested in, and I was like, hey, what are you doing this week? I want to hang out. She's like, oh, I'm busy this week. But we'll check it next week. I was like, oh, no, I'll check it next week. Hey, let's hang out. Let's do this. I'll send her like. I'll send her like an Instagram event, like whatever, like something. Oh, I saw this on Instagram, we should try this, and it's just like, oh, I'm busy that day or whatever.
Yeah, they keep saying they're busy. I've learned that too. If someone's constantly busy, they don't like you enough. Because I've had that a lot happen to me, where they're like, oh, like I really like you, but I'm just so busy, or I'm just going through so much right now. It's a fucking bullshit ass excuse.
You're just one
because
of
if no, not even just banging. It's like if you like somebody enough, like we've all been there where we like somebody a lot, you make the time. And so I've been told that like multiple times, and once I hear it, when someone's like, oh, like I'm busy the next couple weeks, but when I'm free, I just don't even try anymore. Or if they're constantly like, I'm busy, or my life is so overwhelming, like, yeah, mine too, bitch. I fucking work Monday through Friday, I do fucking comedy, I'm consolidating for another fucking brand. I'm like, I do a lot of fucking shit, and I still make time for my friends or people that I'm interested in.
Yeah.
So when you say like, I'm so busy and I know you just do one thing, no, you're not. You just don't like me enough. Just tell me that.
Yeah, you just have a 9 to 5. Get the fuck out.
But
and you work from home. Yeah,
but it's like you're not hurting my feelings. You're saving me the fucking, the effort of trying to like figure out, but figure out like, oh, if you want to go out, but it's like I just tell people, just be honest. Even if you just want to bang, just say that.
Yeah, I'm in that situation right now. Well, the thing is, like, I'm running into a weird conundrum right now. Like a lot of women, a lot of women here in LA don't want kids anymore.
Yeah.
A lot of women don't want kids.
Do you blame them? Look how the cost of living is up.
It's true. And I want kids, and the problem is I want like 8 kids. Exactly.
Can you afford 8 kids?
Does it matter?
It should. This is why I'm traumatized. I have 5 other siblings.
It was all poor.
We were poor, and I'm just saying, if you want that many kids, move to another state where it's cheaper. Because you gotta think about that their upbringing, like you don't want to have 8 kids and you can't really give them everything they deserve.
Well, that's part of the reason why I'm for abortion is because just because they're pregnant doesn't mean they could afford to be pregnant or have that baby.
But in general, abortion, it's my body. Like I should be able to do what if I have. It's first of all, it's like my biggest issue is. They're blaming the woman. I'm sorry, but I'm not the one coming in myself. The guys are, and like vasectomies are reversible. No. Yes, they are.
The study says the longer you have a vasectomy, the harder it's irreversible.
I'm gonna have to look that up because I know for a fact they're reversible. I've looked into this.
No, there's new stuff like a lot of young men are getting vasectomies, and then they'll get married, and then they'll try and like reverse it.
Well, then here's this. Either get a vasectomy and save a bunch of your fucking eggs, so if you want kids, you got them. Or wear a goddamn condom and stop caring about it. It doesn't feel the same.
It doesn't.
It's not fair to women. Because you're not the one who's going to have to sit there being, uncomfortable for 9 months and your body changing and then, like, forced, like, it's like ripping your vagina open. It's just not fair. I think, because, like, if someone told you, if the government's like, oh, all men have to get vasectomies, and then you have to, make sure that you're eligible to, like, actually be a parent, maybe take a test or some shit. If someone told you you had to do something to your body, you'd be pissed off.
Yeah, exactly. And fair so, and that's why I'm very for abortion.
Yeah, same. I'm for it. I had one when I was 19.
Nice.
And it's like, honestly, if I would have been forced to have a kid, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now. And I was 19. I was nowhere capable of having a child. I was a fucking child myself, basically. And it was a mistake. Like, I was actually getting on birth control that month, and I missed my doctor's appointment, so I had to wait. Yeah. And during that time, me and my boyfriend at the time, obviously we're young, we were drunk, and we hooked up.
Drunk at 19.
And that's what, but people can't deny people don't get drunk under 21.
Yeah, they do.
And so it was a mistake.
Yeah.
And if I had been forced to carry that, my life would have been fucking shit.
Just imagine having to live with that man.
I'd have a fucking, 15-year-old kid right now?
You'd be sophomore in high school. Sophomore.
I wouldn't have been in radio, I wouldn't have been in marketing, and I wouldn't be doing stand-up.
That's true. That's different. Because one of my girlfriends had an abortion, but she was on the pill, and then things just happened. But she was 2019 was when it happened.
Yeah.
She had an abortion, and then what happened after that? It was so quick because we talked about it. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like we talked about. It's like, oh, because we're in a relationship for 5 years. It's like if we get pregnant, this and that. Like we said we wouldn't get pregnant until we were 30. If she got pregnant when she was 30, then she was like, okay, I'll think about keeping it. But she was like 27, I think at the time. I forget.
Yeah.
So she was so she's like, I'm getting rid of it. I missed her phone call because I was working at the time, and I didn't get it till like after 6. And she's she missed her period. She felt sick. She took the test. Found out she was pregnant. Within 20 minutes, she already had a Plan B. Like literally, she did it 20 minutes, and then 2 days later, she was in the office. A week later, took a pill, and boom, gone.
The pregnancy.
Pregnancy.
Oh, I thought you meant her. She was gone. She died.
Yeah, no. She's fine. She's fine. But luckily, it was so early in the process that all she had to do was take a pill.
Yeah.
But it was a hard process because I don't know how yours was, how long it was.
It sucked.
Yeah, it was
No, I went in and because I was 5 to 7 weeks.
Okay.
I didn't know I was pregnant. I just happened to start throwing up one day, didn't feel good, and then my boobs got huge, and I was just like, what the fuck? And then I took the test, and I remember being at the clinic, and they were like, oh my god, congratulations, and I was just like, I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And when I told my ex at the time, he already had a kid. He had a kid at 18.
How old is he?
We were the same age. We're only 10 days apart.
This motherfucker.
Yeah, and so his response was like, he compared it to the movie Are We There Yet? With Ice Cube. He's like, oh, because he already had a kid. He's like, oh, I feel like, if my kid finds out that I have, or, years later, that was not the response a hormonal 19-year-old who's pregnant wants to fucking hear, and, because I'm not going to lie at the time, because I was in love, and also, people don't understand, when you get pregnant, it's like, it's a weird feeling, you, love it already. I was like, I wanted it, but then I was like, I know I'm not ready for this. Yeah. And so it was a hard decision, but I think it was the best decision. And yeah, I had to go in and have it, I had to be put under, and it's not fun, it's scary, it hurts, your body still thinks you're pregnant after the fact.
Yeah.
And so your hormones are all over the goddamn place. I got super depressed. And then after that, I was like, I'm never going to put myself through this again. And so I never did. I mean, I never got pregnant again. I did have accidents where the condom ripped when I was a men, and so I got Plan B. So I've done Plan B twice after that. With the same ex, actually, because the condom ripped. And then another time, years later, with another ex. But other than that, I was like, if I even had an idea or thought it could happen, I was like, nope, I go get Plan B.
Yeah.
But again, now.
I've done Plan B once with this one girl. She was like, why you seem off right now? I was like, I'm not sure if I finished inside or not, if I was able to pull out fast enough. And she was like, why didn't you say this earlier? I was like, I was just thinking about it.
Well, the pull-up method doesn't even work. You can get pregnant from pre-cum.
You can, yes.
But really, it's it's when a girl's ovulating. So, but girls, we don't always know when we're ovulating.
Yeah, you gotta track that. And
yeah, but even still, it's kind of iffy because, sometimes you can and you won't get pregnant because you're not ovulating. But again, we don't know all the time, so it's still like a roll of the dice. Like, what's gonna happen?
I just say this: just every day, just keep filling it up. Just fill the hole up. Hopefully, one day it lands. Just fill that bucket. Just fill that bucket. Hopefully, one day it lands.
No, that's why I'm great. I'm happy I don't sleep with men. I have none of that worry.
I've never really been attracted. I'll see a man, I was like, oh, he's a handsome man, he's an attractive man, but I'm like, I want to fuck him. I've never had that urge. Yeah. And whenever I'm around men, women to me have I'm very sense-based, so women, they feel cool, their body's cool to touch, whereas men, it was hot, their body doesn't feel comfortable, even to embrace another man, a hug my man friend, just a hug, or something. Hey man, good to see you, it's hot, we're just even with a woman, we're just oh, good to see you, the touch is a lot cooler, the sensation of
women are just a lot softer too.
That too. They don't have, it's called hygiene, and they have better, skincare.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like, yeah, men are just. I have nothing against men. It's just I'm just not.
You have preferences.
Yeah, I did it. I did it for a while, and I started to realize like I'm really not into this.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, it's not for everyone. I mean, like some people are like there's a lot of people who are asexual now too, who just don't want to have sex with anybody. They just I mean, I forget the comic. He's like what 30 something, and he's a virgin still. But his whole set is about him being a virgin.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't like I had a friend of mine all through high school. Well, not through like junior, sophomore. Like we knew each other like 4 years. Last 2 years of high school, first 2 years of college. Excuse me. And I'd always give him shit because he's a very very religious man. And, he's like, oh, I'm never gonna have sex. Like I've only kissed a girl, and like I haven't really felt her up. And I was like, I was like, oh, I can never do that. But the thing is, I was giving him shit because he was a quarterback for the high school. And I was like, you're the quarterback, man. You're supposed to get laid.
Oh my god, did he ever get laid?
I haven't seen him in a few years.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, for me, I feel like last year was kind of like trying to date seriously, and then I was like kind of hooking up here and there. But now, like, I haven't. And everyone they're like, you're lying. I haven't hooked up with anyone or any girl since February.
Just a long time, bitch.
I know. But it's more by choice because it's not like I can't. It's just, I'd rather be with someone. Like, I want to date a girl and like her enough to, like, really want to do that. Opposed to just, like, randomly hooking up or whatever. Like, it's, like, it's not the same.
Yeah.
And I'm, like, over that already. Like, I feel like I've already done that in my 20s and early 30s. And now I'm good. And it's like, it's not like I'm like, I don't want it. It's just more like, I'd rather wait.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm fine. It's, like, not a big deal.
It was like that for a while. Like, after my last relationship, that was like about 9 months. We were together for like 9 months, and then ended badly. Like I was just kind of like in a gutter. Like I wouldn't even go on like. It was kind of the point where I just go on dates just so that I wouldn't be alone. You know what I mean? Yeah, I go on dates just so that I wouldn't be alone that night. Like I wouldn't even like be interested in the girl. I just like ghost her the next morning, just like because I knew I was gonna ghost her. I just wanted to have a good conversation with somebody. I was like, all right, I heard it. I probably distraught some people, but like, I just didn't want to be alone that night. But I didn't even have sex like for like 8-9 months afterwards. Like after that, like after we broke up, I was just like kind of in this funk.
Yeah, I think after like the last person I was going out with, I just kind of was like, all right, I'm over this right now. Like I just want to like do my own thing and focus on me, and which is what I did. Actually, the last person I was dating was the comedian. And so after that, I was kind of like, I'm just gonna focus on me and get into comedy and do that, and that's what I've done. Because I know if I was focused on a person, I wouldn't be doing like what I'm doing.
That's true. Because when you're in a relationship, it takes time away from comedy. Because you got to do things like you got to have dinners, you got to have Netflix night, you got to have cuddle night or whatever the fuck night.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it is harder because I will say this, like when I was dating a comic, it was easier for her with me because I was actually very supportive. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I would go to her mics all the time. I'd drive her out sometimes, and like she like I said, you gotta go like 3 mics a night. Yeah. And that's the reason like what we were talking about earlier, like those comics who come in and out because they're like you gotta get stage time. It's all about getting stage time.
Yeah, but it's also networking too.
Yeah.
I think it's a big part of it.
And that's with me is like that's why I like to stay at the mics because I'll go to a mic and I'll stay for the whole mic.
Yeah.
And then and then people say, oh, why don't you go to this other mic? It's like I'm kind of tired from being here for fucking 2-3 hours.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, you should come to this other mic, man. I was like, I got work in the morning. Like
seriously, I'm the same way. I'm like, it's like I've done 2 mics in a night, but after that I'm just kind of like, actually no, I think I've done 3. But I'm like, I'm tired already. Like, I just want to go home and sleep and have work, but...
Yeah, the most I've done is, like, I'll have, like, a Friday or a Saturday or something like that where or not even that, it was, like, a Monday. And you just hit a whole bunch of mics and like, the whole day. But I'll start, like, at Hollywood Comedy or start, like, a Fourth Wall. And I'll start, like, at 2 p.m. or 3 p.m. Yeah. And then I'll go all night until, like, and get, like, 4 mics and then hit that, like, 7 p.m. one as well.
Yeah.
But it is grueling. It's just like, it's exhausting on the body.
It is. It's just like, I think it's mentally draining too, because at the end of the day, it's like, I'm so tired of saying these same jokes. I feel that way a little bit too, because like, I mean, I have other jokes, but like, it's like when you're doing like the same ones, or even though you do change them up at times, it's like, I feel like I'm just like bored of myself.
Yeah, I just don't want to hear myself talk anymore.
Yeah.
That's why with me, I've been trying to do like like when I do things like that, I'll have 3 different sets. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'll have one set about Lucy, I'll have one set about being a massage therapist, and I'll have one set about like dating. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I try to so that way I'm not bored. I mean, when I go to mics, I'll try and theme my mic. You know what I mean? I'll try and I was like, because with comedy, I used to love like the Dane Cook and all those other albums.
Yeah.
I think of when I do comedy is like you turn the back of the CD case and you see at 5:15, 6:17, whatever. That's what I think of my comedy. That's how I write my comedy. But you just like to raw dog it.
No, I mean I'm a writer. I'm a copywriter. That's my job, right? And so I write all the time. I have so many notebooks, so many Google Docs, so many, like, literally I have a lot of the books. Even in my notes in my phone, I have a lot. So I usually, like, I'll look at something, or I'll think of something, or I'll be out somewhere, and I'm like, oh, that's funny. I'll write it down, and then I go back and I look at it. And even now I'm going back to, like, my old stuff and taking it and, like, okay, now that I have a better understanding, I try to take it and, like, play with it a little bit and figure out, like, what it can work. No, I have a shit ton of stuff. I just haven't done all of it because, like, some of it, you know, like, I have, like, some conservatives and Jesus jokes that I don't want to really say now because, like, I don't...
They're not fully baked.
No, they're funny. I just don't really want to be seen as this angry lesbian, you know? Or
to be fair, you're a lesbian dressed in all black. You're immediately already an angry lesbian.
True, but if I'm sitting there, like, fucking conservatives and men and, you know, it's not that I hate all that. It's more of just, it's annoying.
Yeah.
Because you want everyone to be like you. Why?
Yeah, well, it's so played out and cliche now. Like, it's so, like...
But, like, what happens if they go to heaven and, like, they find out that gay people are there?
Will they protest God?
Exactly. Or, you know, or, like, are they thinking, like, they're going to go, you know, if they go to heaven and Jesus, like, oh, you know, this is actually one of the jokes. Like, oh, you know, Karen, great job not doing that same-sex couples cake. You know, fucking 5 Jesus points for you. It's like... Do you really think Jesus or God, like, sup, dude? Like, yeah, fuck those people and their love, you know? Yeah. Took that shit to the Supreme Court, you know? Fuck those gays. Like, you know? It's like, it makes you think, like, really?
Yeah, really? Well, here's the thing I hate is, like, because I should have come up with a joke before all this shit, because I've been hating on Clarence Thomas since 2008.
Oh, really?
Yeah, people don't understand. Like, I've been hating on Clarence Thomas so much. And everyone's like, why you hate him? Because people don't like him because he's a black conservative Supreme Court justice member. But, like, he's, like, the reason why is because this is the first time I heard of him was, you remember in 2008 was the Prop 8 here in California? Yeah. And then, like, the whole Supreme Court justice, and I remember hearing him, he's like, oh, I'm not supportive of it. And the thing that he turned down, he voted against gay rights. He said gay people shouldn't get married. But he's a black man married to a white woman, and 50 years to the date, like, he turned down gay marriage, when in fact 50 years ago, he wouldn't be able to marry his wife. Yeah. And so that's when I was like, he's a hypocrite.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he's literally like what we talked about with Dave Chappelle in that episode. He's that. Like, he doesn't see that. It's either he doesn't see or doesn't give a fuck. I mean, not that he doesn't know he's black, but he just doesn't give a fuck. And they're actually, the GOP or whatever, they're wanting to look into or do an investigation into him because, like, he's getting lavish gifts and money and, like, flights, and it's like, you shouldn't, and I hate that our Supreme Court is a lifetime position. Like, why?
The reason why, supposedly, so that way they wouldn't be swayed by political.
But they're getting bought.
They're getting bought. Yeah.
So it's like stupid.
The only thing is, what about the other ones? What are the other ones doing too? You know what I mean? Not just him. Yeah. Because if it's just him, But I'm pretty sure this is politics. At least 2 or 3 of them got some shit on the side that they're not also reporting.
Yeah, no, like I said, I have, like, politics gets me, like, riled up because I can't stand half of the crowd, and I have, like,
Well, for me, the thing I hate is the hypocrisy of politics.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, I know all about it. I pay attention to it. I know what's going on, but I get all riled up about it because it's so fucking frustrating, like, what they're doing, and it's just even just like now, like the classes, you know, like, there is really no middle class anymore. You're either fucking poor or you're rich, and it's, I saw this thing that said something like, oh, it's weird that the 0.2% that are billionaires or whatever work their asses off to get that, or no, not that they work their asses, but they work their asses off to get that percentage of the money. I forgot how it went, but point being is, billionaires, you don't become a billionaire, like, because you worked your ass off. You become a billionaire by exploiting others. And what's frustrating is, like, you have so much money, you can't even spend it in one lifetime. Yeah. And, like, if I were a billionaire, I had, like, Elon Musk money or, like, Jeff Benzo, whatever his name is, like you can cure like world hunger, you can cure like all, and you decide not to, which makes you think like where like where are their pockets at, or who are they,
Yeah.
Because,
I mean, look at like the Middle East too, like all that lavish spending they have in like Dubai and Emirate, but they also Emirate Kingdom or whatever. I forget what it's, Qatar. But yeah, all those countries over there, they got billions and billions of dollars from oil money, and they exploit so many people through slavery. I mean, like look at Qatar during the World Cup, like they built all these like stadiums through slave labor basically, and then they just threw these people back out the country. Because because that's what they want. I think they're like I forget. They're either like they're Indians. Like they're from like India, and they're working in India, and they would steal they'll take their passports. They'll withhold pay, and it's stuff like that. And they're like, oh, we got all this oil money, but yeah, but what about the other shit you're doing?
Yeah, this is why it's funny. That's like I feel like we're like, okay, so there's like aliens now, right?
There's always been aliens.
Yeah, always have been. But I feel like we're like this, like the human race is just very unevolved. Because we fight over land that we destroy. We fight, we destroy our own planet. We fight over minerals or things that we said were valuable. Like gold, we say gold is valuable, but like, does it have to be? Can't something else be,
Yeah.
Because I get it, money backs up, gold backs up money, whatever. But it's just like weird that we fight over land, we fight over things that we say are valuable. And it's just like, can't we all just like live comfortably? Like, why do we have to? We want to top it. We want to be the best of the best and like rule over people. And it's so weird. It's like instead of living as like a civilization, as humankind, we're just like exploiting each other to be rich over things that we said are valuable, over paper we print, over land that we stole. It's like stupid. It's like weird. Or land that we said is ours. Like, why is it yours? We were all born on the planet.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing with me is like like reparations and like especially with like the Mexicans and this being how California we signed a treaty to allow like we surrendered in California became a state, and like Arizona that they became a state, like we voted on that, but it was a lot of manipulation and stuff like that. Like they manipulated, they took it because they wanted the gold, they wanted the research from California.
For sure.
And so that to me is like there's a lot of people who's like, oh, like here in America, the slavery and all that, I understand that, but also like here, like the difference is like they took our land and they're still here on top of us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's just crazy to see. It's like, it doesn't matter what side you are, there's always going to be something like to fight about. Like even here in Los Angeles, Dodger Stadium.
Yeah.
Chavez Ravine, 12 different families, like 80 people. We're taking their homes were taken from them. Yeah. So it's like that shit's still happening here.
As I said, humans are just an unevolved race. That's why aliens are like, yeah, no, they're not ready yet.
Well, what was it? Neil deGrasse Tyson or someone? I think he's the one who said it. Is like, we're ants. Like, you're human. Like, you're not gonna pay attention to an ant. You're just gonna walk right by it. That's how they see us. Which I could see that. Like, think like a monkey even. You know what I mean, a monkey can use tools, but a monkey can't do calculus. Well, some of them can, probably.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's like, obviously, I feel like even if we had the technology of, like, the extraterrestrials or whatever, like, we just kill ourselves.
Well, we're still so, like, even here in modern medicine, most things, like cancer, how do they fix cancer? They chop it out. That's it. They chop off your breast, they take out your lymph nodes. I believe they have a cure for it. It's just like cancer is a moneymaker. So. Well, it's just a random growth. There's actually a study. There's a theory out there. It's it's actually true. Is whales and walruses and large mammals don't die from cancer, and the reason why is because they're so large that the cancer has to grow to X amount of size before it can metastasize. Yeah. That's why we do studies on mice, because their body's so much smaller, so it's things develop much faster. And so with cancer, it is about like catching it early.
Yeah. Do you think people are gonna care about cancer? We're like, cancer. Here's our opinion.
Yeah. Okay, right? No, but it is true. It is true.
No,
like, but it's just the same circle of things. It's like no matter what we do, it's just like we're just not big enough. It's just like if we were bigger, cancer would be a problem.
I mean, I think cancer is just it's in all the crap that we're eating every day.
There was a study I saw this morning with publicity, whatever, one of those IG ones, and it said they found in China microplastics in a human's heart.
Oh yeah, I read that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's in everything already anyway.
There's always that you eat a credit card of plastic a year, something like that.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, it's in our water bottles.
I mean, you were drinking from it.
Mm-hmm. Eating off it. You know, we wrap shit in plastic.
Everything.
Everything. I mean, but like, I just hate all this plastic. And then we're also switching to electric cars. I mean, you've heard my electric car joke. Because too many motherfuckers right here with fucking 2 or 3% on their phone. We won't be driving around 3 or 4% around LA with your car. It's just gonna be tumultuous.
Yeah, I could. Well, I think there's also. I think some they do take gas too.
Some
of them.
Yeah, the hybrids. But I think the governor said it strictly 100% EV. Because I know with the truck bodies, with the trucks, those ones have to be only EV.
Oh, okay.
Mhm. Because my parents don't work. We work in the truck body industry, and so we focus on just doing electricity now. We don't do any of the gas powered shit. And it's good and bad for a lot of people because a lot of people are losing. They're losing their trucks. They're losing their businesses because they can't afford to buy a new truck. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. I mean, that's another thing too. Like I said, with humans, like we are like, okay, let's make cars. We don't need to use gas to make a car move. We don't need that anymore. They found ways to make literally water and all kinds of other things. And so it's just like weird. It's like
it's money.
It's money, and we're destroying the planet. It's like I feel like we're just like getting all political and shit.
Yeah, now we're getting all political.
Yeah,
it's fun. It's fun. This is the shit we talk about.
Yeah.
This is what happens when you wake up hungover.
I know. I'm like hungry and shit too.
See, this is why we can't have nice things. You gotta feed your dog before you came.
I know. I fed him before myself, so.
There you go. It's got a good owner.
I went to the store and got him food, and then I.
So let's go back to comic. So, what are some of like your favorite venues to go and perform at? Like, for me, one of the places I'll never go and perform at again is Chateau.
I actually have not performed there.
Yeah, but the reason why is because of the owner Felix and all the shit that he's done and the shit that happens behind the scenes.
Oh yeah, see, I've only been there as someone watching, but like a couple years ago, but I haven't actually performed there yet. And I mean, so far right now, obviously the Ice House was a lot of fun. Where else have I gone?
Obviously, Last Resort.
Oh yeah, that's fun.
Last Resort. That was a good one, East LA.
Yeah, the Sunset Rooftop is cool too. I mean, I'm doing, like I said, Prohibition tonight.
Prohibition's good.
I haven't done I'm doing the Hollywood Roosevelt on the 1st, so
nice.
I haven't been there before, so that'll be fun.
I've been there. I haven't performed there, but I went there. I think I went to see Russell there.
Oh, okay.
And he performed there once. And I had a lot of people talk about, a lot of different people on the show, like, how I talk shit about Felix. Everyone's like, you shouldn't talk shit about Felix. Fuck Felix. Oh, straight up, fuck Felix. And B Gutierrez, she even said that. She said, the day Felix leaves and he sells it, I'm going to host my first show back there. And I'm just like, I'm with you. Because of the way he treats comics. The way he treats...
Oh, is he rude?
Rude, especially the female comics. You know Dave People, right? He's a guitarist. So he's one of the guys. He's a musical comic, you know. And if a lot of musical comics are banned from the Chateau unless they're worse than Felix.
Oh.
Yeah, he's one of those people. That's like, if you're a musical comic and better than him, he doesn't book you again. And he's even blacklisted.
Has he owned that like club for like years or something?
I don't know I don't even know when he came into ownership of it, honestly, because I just started hearing about this shit like. When I started getting back to comedy in 2020, is like when I started going out more, and then when the Chateau opened, I started going out there and I started checking it out, and I started talking to people, and then people start talking to each other, and then you start hearing shit, and you start asking questions, and it's kind of like, I don't want to support this kind of business.
Yeah.
Cause he bumps people from shows, you know what I mean? If his shows aren't bringer shows, but if you don't bring anybody, he'll kick people off.
Well, I guess I won't try to go there.
Yeah.
I don't even care. I mean, I'm just going with the flow, and whoever, recommends you or hits me up, I'm going with it. I wanted to Laugh Factory next, so I haven't booked it, but I'm going to hit up the booker.
The booker? Yeah, that's a good one. Laugh Factory is really fun. It's a great stage. Really just beautiful. I do like Flappers. Have you been to Flappers yet?
I've been there not as a show, but I went there for an open mic. And that was fun.
That's nice. I know you've done the roast battles.
Yeah, that was fun at Deaf Noodle.
How'd that go?
I won. I did it against Russell.
So both of us, fuck you, Russell. We both got you. I didn't.
Oh, you won too?
I beat him, but only because I was only slightly less shittier than him. Slightly less shittier than him, but that's it.
Yeah.
The only reason I won is because I got the crowd involved.
Oh. I think it's because I had told it. He asked for some information about me, and I told him I lost my virginity to a toy with a girl, like my lost virginity to a girl. And so I thought he would have taken that and ran with it in another direction, and the joke pretty much sounded like a Me Too. Like a hashtag, it sounded like I got raped.
Oh, okay.
I mean, because I was drunk and it kind of, like, I was taken advantage of, but, like, I mean, it was a girl, so I liked it, but, I mean, I don't remember much of it. I was kind of blocked out. And so, he kind of took it that way. And I remember when he was saying, I was like, oh, I'm like, that doesn't sound, they even didn't want to even do a sound, they're like, yeah, we're not putting a sound to that. Because it sounded, like, rapey.
Yeah.
And bad, and I was like, oh, that's not.
That happens.
Yeah.
That happens.
I would have taken it in that direction.
The venue looks nice though. I've only seen videos of it, pictures, but I haven't been there. Is it small or is
it's kind of small, but it's cool. They have like a back area, and there's like I guess they do like a podcast there too in the back.
Yeah. Because the guy, his name after the guy who owns it. He has a YouTube channel called Death Noodles, and he was kind of like a drama channel. And he'd always talk about drama and shit. And now he's just now. Going into comedy. He's been in comedy for like 2-3 years, I think.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, the one I mean, like you can even look at like Jillian Summers. She's one who owns Hollywood Comedy, and so she's been doing comedy not too long, it's like 3 years, 4 years maybe. But she's really blowing up, partly because she owned the comedy club.
Oh.
And then, but she used to have a second club. That was unfortunately only open for 6 months because she got divorced and the shit just fell through.
My phone keeps blowing up because I have family calling me and stuff.
Like, are you alive?
No, I have stuff going on, so it's like it keeps blowing up. So.
I feel that. Family shit.
Well, no, yeah, because I gotta figure out my brother's coming, and so I'm just.
I feel it. Were you originally from LA?
Huh?
Were you originally from LA?
Yeah, I'm born and raised.
What part?
Huntington Park.
Huntington Park? What part of Huntington Park? Yeah! You're like, shit, we're going back to high school now.
Yeah, no, I grew up there. I'm born and raised in LA. I lived all over Southern California. It's funny because when I meet people, everybody I meet's not from California. They're always from another state, and they're like, "Are you from here?" And I'm like, "Yeah, can't you tell? I'm a native." Because I'm not like, I don't know. I notice a lot of people who aren't from here that like try so hard to be LA, and it's weird. And I'm like,
what is try so hard to be LA? What's an example of that?
They're just like super trendy or something, or they like. I mean, I don't know. I went to like this like little queer mixer thing, and everybody was like not from LA. Everyone's from different states. Not from California, and they're just like super polished and trendy and kind of very like trying to look like you live in Hollywood, you know? That's what it is. They try to look like they live in Hollywood, and it's like, like, art, do you? Like, I don't know. It's like weird. To me, it's like weird.
Yeah, like look natural, like how you look, or you see how I dress. I got my hat and everything.
Yeah. Are you from here?
I grew up in Diamond Bar.
Okay, yeah, so you're from LA.
Yeah,
California, basically.
Yeah, but I was born in like Eagle Rock. Then we moved from Eagle Rock to La Puente. From La Puente, we moved to Hacienda. And then from Hacienda, we moved to Diamond Bar.
Yeah, I used to live in West Covina, and...
West Coast chill.
Yeah.
West Coast has a good town. They opened up, I think, a new Laugh Factory or something down in West Coast.
Oh, I think so. I heard about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's also a good mic out there in West Covina called Chatterbox.
I used to go there when it was just the bar. Before they were doing the mics there?
They were doing the mics there for a long time. They were doing it for years. For at least, I want to say 5 years.
No, I used to live there. So I lived there, okay. It was like 10 years ago or so.
Oh, okay.
Maybe a little longer than that, actually. Yeah, I used to, that was my bar. I used to know the bouncer, and I used to hook him up with weed, and he always let me in. Like, before anyone else.
Yeah.
And yeah, I know, it was cool though. Like, I haven't been there in years, but like when I saw that they started doing the comedy stuff, I'm like, oh, that's cool. I need to go back there.
I'm actually surprised they're doing like actual comedy shows out there.
No, I saw that. They actually get like good people.
Mm-hmm. And actually like real good people. Like people say, oh, they were on all the way to West Coast. But like people, you gotta do that. You gotta drive out to like Brea. I've driven out to like Long Beach. I've driven out to San Diego. So I've done a few mics out there.
Yeah, I want to do some in San Diego. I might do that next.
Yeah, I've done it. It's fun. It's definitely worth it. Just talk to people. That's what it comes down to. And I went out there, made a few friends. I actually did one of my podcasts. I've done 2 podcasts on the road. One in Rancho Cucamonga, and the second one was in San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
The second one in San Diego was kind of cool because we did it at a restaurant.
Yeah.
So we just went to a restaurant he used to work at. He's like, hey, can we record a podcast? I was like, sure. I just had like my cables and shit, just plugged all that shit in, and I was just like, all right, let's go, bitch. And that's what it was. It's interesting just going like doing, because every scene is a little different. Like doing a scene in East LA versus a scene in West Hollywood.
Yeah, I went to Ventura and did one out there, and that was definitely different. Because, everybody was like, it was a bunch of white men, and they were all like doing these gay jokes.
Yeah. Or a lot of other mics will say like, oh, they're surprised, like, oh, I can say retarded here. Like, Okay, you gotta say retarded. Cool.
Yeah, everyone has like, just like they have all these like gay jokes, tranny jokes, stuff like that. It's like, just let it go. They're like, I don't understand. Well, and it's like, ugh. And then so they're like annoyed because I'm like, I'm gay, clearly, but I mean, I don't get all offended when people do gay jokes. It's just more like when they're not good. It's like you just sound like you're, in the closet still.
Yeah, if you're gonna do a gay joke, at least do a good gay joke. If you do a racist joke, at least make it a good racist joke.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like I said, like, it's hard, but you go to a whole bunch of these mics and all these people, especially a lot of like these white people, do these the N-word joke.
Oh yeah.
Or like a black person joke, they'll say something like, I'm like, okay, bro, okay. We get it. But to each their own. Like, most of my, if anything, if I have any racist jokes, it's more like about being Mexican. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, because you're Mexican, you can make those jokes.
Mm-hmm. Like being a light-skinned Mexican, I used to, like, one of my things like, Mom, why does everyone say why does everyone make fun of me for being white? She's like, Mijo, you're just my flour tortilla. You're just light with all those freckles on you. You're fine.
Oh my god.
She's like, that's how you know you're Mexican. You're my flour tortilla.
I just tell people I'm a cracker with beans on it. Because I'm Mexican, but like I was whitewashed a little bit, and so like I said, I didn't know I was Mexican. I mean, I knew I was Mexican, but my mom had me believing I was white half my life, and I was like, you're full of shit. And so I did an ancestry, and no, I'm Mexican. I'm Native American and Spaniard. I have a bunch of other crap. Yeah. I do have some like European, like England, like from England or.
Yeah, but when you're Spaniard, it's pretty much all.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's all it. That's why. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I get that. No, like, I haven't done one of those 23andMe's just because I'm always scared that they're gonna use that shit to find me and, like, try and prosecute me for a crime. No, I'm serious. I really don't want that shit. Like, not only that, I have a conspiracy theory. Alright, now 150 years, 200 years long after we're gone, you know what they're gonna do? They're gonna use that DNA and they're gonna clone us. And they're gonna use our clones to fight wars and shit. And they're gonna use senator clones to do, like...
They can already clone people.
Exactly, but, like... I don't want the government to have it like that, readily like that.
The government is right here.
Yeah, but that's my DNA. They don't have my actual blood.
Okay.
Well, actually, this happened to a woman like a few years ago.
Yeah.
So she submitted a rape kit years ago, like 9 years ago, and so her blood was in her DNA was in the system, and then a few years later she ended up committing a crime, and they didn't know who it was, but she left like DNA evidence. So they used that DNA evidence to find her through the rape kit. And so that's like.
Well, then don't commit a crime. You have no problem.
Why does everyone keep saying that?
Because it's true. I don't plan on committing a crime.
It's not that I plan on committing a crime. It's just if I happen to have committed a crime, I just want to make it a lot harder for people to find me. Like.
Not in this day and age. Like, there's way too many cameras out there and.
Your cell phone.
Everything. Yeah.
That's how they got that Iowa murderer in Moscow, Idaho.
Oh yeah.
His cell phone, because his cell phone was peeking there and then peeking there.
Yeah, they can see everything. Then they can get your text messages and.
It doesn't matter. The government owns everything.
Pretty much.
But just as long as I don't have my blood, that's the only thing I have left.
Good luck with that.
There's also, what was it, Picking Cotton? I think was the name of the book. This guy who was locked up for years, based on like false DNA evidence.
Oh yeah.
And so he was outside smoking a cigarette with his lawyer, and when he was finished smoking the cigarette, he put the cigarette in a plastic bag. And his lawyer said, "Why are you doing that?" He's like, "I was locked up for years for because someone had my DNA. I'm not gonna let anyone have my DNA ever again."
Yeah.
Shit like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess I can see your point, but I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. You're just like, fuck you, bitch. Take my shit.
I already gave it to them, so
yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Like, have it.
I mean, the only way they probably get my DNA that I can think of right now is because of one of my surgeries. I was in a research, kind of like a research surgery.
Uh-huh.
So like it was a experimental surgery.
Experiment.
Yeah.
Experimental surgery.
Yeah, for my knee.
Oh, okay.
So it was what was it? Because it's called ACI surgery. I forget the acronym. The whole thing. So ACI, and what it is, they take a chunk of your meniscus out and they send it to Boston in the lab, and then they regenerate it there. And so when they put it back in, they have to sew it into your bone, and then when they sew it onto your bone, it's your own cells regrowing instead of a cadaver, which is a dead person's knee cell. So there's less likelihood of rejection. And so I had to be a certain age, a certain weight. I had to take a bone scan. Jesus. I had to make sure that I had the right type of blood. You know what I mean? Yeah, it had to be, everything had to be right. And if one thing was wrong, it was like, okay, can't be in here.
No.
This was at USC Medical Center. My mom used to live across the street because it's right there on Soto. Right across the street, that's where my mom grew up. She grew up right there. When she was a kid, she used to tell me when she was a kid that she would play on the 10 freeway when they were building it. So, like, because beforehand when they were building it, they can't go on it. Cars can't go on it. So there's kids just playing on the 10 freeway as it's being built. So it's just that shit about, like, LA is like, oh, I never knew that.
That tells you how, like, freeways are not that old.
No. I mean, they're only...
How long do you do this podcast for? It's like...
Oh, yeah, it's probably going an hour and...
It's an hour
30.
Yeah.
I just go for however long it goes. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm hungry.
You're hungry? Alright, alright, first off, thank you for listening. She got pee. So.
You can edit that out. No, it's more like, yeah, and then...
Alright, so before we get off, so yeah, it's going to come out next week about... Okay. So what's coming up, this coming up a few weeks, shows or anything, or also plan YouTube, Instagram?
Yeah, so I have a show at the Hollywood Roosevelt September 1st, and then September 30th I'm at the Ice House again, and then I'm also at Russell's show October 25th? 20th, October 20th.
20th, that's also with the Drunk and Stoner Festival.
Yeah, that one, and then I think, and then tonight, what doesn't matter tonight.
Tonight, yeah, we'll say, tonight she's going to be at.
Yeah, tonight, but I won't be. Yeah, and that's pretty much it for right now. And then, my Instagram is Desi Talks, so it's DESYTALKZ. So I used to spell it with an S, so I changed it. But yeah, I'm hungry and I gotta pee, so.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was good as fun.
Take care, yeah.